Hi friends, Tracy.bish here, Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to my channel. I'm really glad to be here today because I wanted to share with you this gorgeous card. This is part of my Tracy Sunday challenge for this week, which the theme is balloons. So this is a fun interactive slider card using the gorgeous, sweet, Bright and Beautiful that's in the annual catalogue. This is also Berry Burst. I used Berry Burst as the colourings for this one. The card that we're going to create today, we're going to do the boy version with the Misty Moonlight. So we have the Beautiful Balloons bundle, as well as the Bright and Beautiful DSP. This is so fun. Nice, bright, happy, fun colours. The Berry Burst one has confetti in it. I'm using the Misty Moonlight version with the new card that we're going to create today, and it has little stars on it. So I thought that was really cute. So I have my kit here ready to go. I will have the measurements in the description of this video. I'm not sure whether I'll get a blog post done with this project, so I'll see how I go, but I'll pop the dimensions in the comments section. So go over and check that out. Okay, so we have the Misty Moonlight card base. We're also going to grab two pieces of basic white card. These measure 4 by 5 and 5/8, and we're going to need two of them, one for the front of the card and then one for the inside. Because we're using a dark colour Misty Moonlight, you're definitely going to have to add a layer inside to be able to draw on, or write on, draw on. And okay, so with this DSP piece, this measures 3 7/8 by 5.5. And because it's sort of graduate in colour, just pick wherever you want that's the best piece. And then that little slider piece of Misty Moonlight, this measures 1 1/4 by 3 15/16. That's one little dot before the 4-inch mark. Okay, so I've got my stamps here. I'm using this beautiful big balloon to use as the slider. Now this holds the hidden message as well, so super fun. Now I was only going to stamp one big balloon. Oops, that's my dog Riley having a sneeze. But the first one didn't stamp quite so well, so I did re-stamp it. But you could just stamp one. I went with 2 images just to give it a little bit of extra strength. With my first sample in Berry Burst, it wasn't quite thick enough for me anyway. And I'm also using my stylish shape dies, that Benner die cut there as well. Okay, so we're going to die cut our 2 balloons out, and that Benner we're actually going to die cut the little sliding feature on the DSP. So super simple. So you're using very little supplies in this, but you could use any stamp set. You know, the hidden message could be, you know, an animal popping out, or, you know what I mean, like there's so many different things that you could use. So use your imagination. Take this concept, or maybe just create this one all over again. Completely up to you. So you sort of want it at the top, and you want to make sure that it is centered, that die is centered in that center from the two sides. Okay, so we have those 2 features ready to go. Now we're going to work out where we're going to add our stamping for the center of the card. So fold and burnish my card base. We're going to add our layer of the basic white over the top, and then our DSP is going to go over the top of that as well. So I really want to just add my little slider in there, work out, it's a little bit bigger, so that piece of Misty Moonlight sits out to the left a little bit. That way you can hang on to it and be able to pull it. I'm just making a little mark on that little tail piece of the banner, so I know where it sits on the card. I'm using my foam strips just to add a little channel there, so at the top and bottom of the banner. You want to make sure that it's not too super close, because you want to be able to get that banner to be able to slide in, and you know, it's just that little bit bigger than that die cut. And then also you're going to put a little strip on the right hand side, so, and that'll stop that slider going any further. Okay, so now we're going to get this sort of set up again. We want to add our little slider feature in, and I want to make sure where we're going to be stamping both our sentiments. So again, I'm just making that little mark top and bottom so we can stamp in the Versamark, that happy birthday sentiment. We're also going to heat emboss, so stamping it in Versamark, I'm using Basics embossing powders in the white, but you know, you could use whatever ones you would like. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the heat tool just to melt that powder. So if you're in need of any of the supplies that I've shown you today, and you know, or maybe there's other things that you would like and you live in Australia, you can purchase them in my online store. I have a wonderful program for my customers, and I really like to spoil my customers as well. So each week or each month I have a new gift. So it'll either be, you know, a card or a project. You also receive a bundle tutorial, which, you know, is always over 40 tutorials, full color photos, all the instructions that you need, all that sort of fun. And if you spend over $100 in product, I'll also send you the sweet Simple Stampers tutorial bundle. So extra lot of inspiration. Okay, so we've just stamped and embossed on that sliding feature. I've added some more foam strips, not taking the backings off yet, because this way we just pop up that DSP, pop the slider back in. Then I want to work out where I'm going to stamp on that basic white piece. So our little balloons are just going to be glued together. I'll get it together. So I'm going to pull this out, and I want to know where that sentiment's going to be able to be stamped. So it's a fairly big sentiment. You want to be careful what size sentiment you have. So I've just marked that little corner on the right hand side and then the top and bottom. That way I know that I can bring my sentiment in, ink it up and stamp it. Pretty much the very edge of the sentiment is going to just mark that, be right on that mark on the right hand side. That way, you know, we're peeking out from that balloon as well. It is a fairly big sentiment. Okay, so once we have this in place and we know that it's all going to work, when they're all layered on top of each other, we can start popping everything together. Okay, I lied. Let's bring in that other piece of basic white because we've got a little bit more stamping to do. So Misty Moonlight balloon, I'm going to heat it with the heat tool. The Misty Moonlight's a really dark ink, so it will stay wet for a little bit longer. Hit it with the heat tool, that way we can bring in the embossing buddy and emboss with the happy birthday sentiment. Super cute, really easy to do. So I really hope that maybe your brain's thinking about what you could create for this week's challenge. So balloons are the theme. There's actually been not so many birthday balloons created. There's been a few hot air balloons as well. So the ladies have done an amazing job. All you need to do to join in is take a photo of your card and then head over to my Facebook page. That is my business page, and you'll see the post there. You just pop your photo in the comment section. You'll see everyone else's there as well. Make sure you go over and take a look at what everyone's created. Maybe leave them a comment. I know they love that as well. Okay, so I've just popped that piece of basic white inside with the liquid glue. We're going to add our other piece of basic white as well. And I'm just getting rid of any of those little marks that you can see, just with an eraser. And then we can add that DSP by taking those backing pieces off. I find those strips work super well, so make sure you have them in your stash because they're great for shaker cards. These slider cards also work perfectly well. You could also use your bones of your dimensionals, just using that straight edge as your piece. Alright, so if you have enjoyed today's card, I would love it if you gave me a thumbs up, if you hit subscribe, if you left me a comment. You know, there's other ways that you can help me out there. But yeah, if you're in need of any of the supplies, I would love to help you out with those as well. So I've just slid that piece of slider back in. We're going to add some, just some silver foil from that, or silver thread from the Simply Elegant trim. And I'm just sort of tying it around that bottom of the bow. And attaching it to the back, just using some tear and tape. You could do any way you like. I just thought that it looked really nice wrapped around the balloon, and then, you know, for like if you slide it through, like you can see I'm doing here, wrap it around and then slide it down, it looks like it's actually, you know, attached and hanging from the balloon, which is super cute. And then you can just cut a little bit off at the back and attach, so the thread is attached to the balloon. All right. And then we're going to slide open that slider function, add a couple of dimensionals to the very edge, and this is going to stop the slider from being able to be pulled out from the very left hand side. And then we've got the stopper on the right hand side. So yeah, unless someone pulls it out really roughly, it's not going to go anywhere. So I've just moved it over so I can still see that sentiment, add the dimensionals to that edge there, and then that is what will it'll hit that edge with the dimensionals and stop it from going any further. And then placing the balloon over the top, that way we can see the happy birthday, and then when we slide it back, you're going to be able to see the sentiment inside. How cool is that? I think not only kids would enjoy this card, but an adult would enjoy this card too. It's like that little hidden bonus and fun. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's card. I hope that you'll hit subscribe. I hope you'll hit the thumbs up. And hey, leave me a comment. Let me know which one is your favourite, the Misty Moonlight or the Berry Burst. Alright everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all back here really soon. Bye bye.